Okay, welcome back, YouTube followers. I like to start this video by saying, do not buy this system. Well, I just lost most of the viewers, maybe. The reason I'm saying that is this is a very expensive system. It's pushing $3,000. There, I just lost the other part of the viewers. Well, the reason I'm starting by this is I had a comment recently, and it was valid. Someone said, why are you presenting these extremely expensive equipment, over $2,000, close to $3,000? He said, I'm a giggy musician or a DJ, and I only make $100 to $200 a gig. There's no way I can afford this. So I understand that. I also do budget PA things on my channel, but this is for the people with deep pockets who want to spend the money. Personally, everybody spends their money differently. I don't spend my money on expensive cars. I would like to, but I haven't so far. So that's where I've been spending my money recently in the last couple of years. So let's talk about what we have on hand. This is an extremely powerful system for its size. This is not a DJ system, even though you might have seen this portrayed on YouTube as a DJ system, but it's extremely expensive if you've got a pair of these with the matching subwoofer, and it was just wrong advice. So this is called the RCF TT515. That's the top I'm talking about. And that is very light. It is only, let me look it up. Hold on a second, I forgot. 22 pounds, which is extremely light. It has a nice handle. It can be carried in one hand. So, and the form factor, the thin look of it. So this can be tucked under a table somewhere as maybe a fill speaker. That's what it's made for. It's made for professional use, a fill speaker, maybe in a museum to give extra coverage, but it's definitely not a DJ speaker, even though people try to pawn it off as that application. No. Okay, so the reason I bought it is because I'm looking for low weight. I have a 51-pound speaker that I'm looking at right now across the living room, and it never leaves the home. It's just by the way, it's QSE KW122 that I've made a review of. Great speaker, but at 51 pounds, it's just too much for me, and it stays home. So I love speakers that are light, preferably 30 pounds is kind of my max. So this at 22 pounds is just incredible. But why are you paying that kind of money? This speaker is $1,000, and I'm talking about one single speaker, $1,800 for the top, the RCF top. So it is well built. It's from Italy. It's all wood cabinet, metal grill. So it's really well built. It is not Bluetooth. It's not that type of speaker. It doesn't have a mixer built in. It's not that type of speaker. You need to be running this with a good gain from a mixer. I tried jimmy rigging it, trying to put my, running a cell phone directly into it. I just never got the gain. It's not built for that. This is a pro speaker. So the news gets worse from there. It's $1,800, but then you need an adapter that you might see that I have on the pole there. That's another $100. And I've seen it as high as 150. So if you get it at 100, that's the bargain. So $1,900 for this one speaker. Pretty pricey. But here comes the good news. It performs. It has 1,000 watts RMS. It has dual 5-inch woofers. It has a 1.75-inch tweeter. It has 100-degree coverage. And this is what amazes me and possibly is worth the money for some people. 127 dB performance. And I mean crystal clear performance. This is bordering on studio monitor quality, which is hard to believe. Most people won't believe me until they've heard it, but at 127 dB. So at that volume, this is the cleanest speaker that I have in my collection and the cleanest speaker that I have heard. Now I do have the TT10, the larger brother, but amazingly enough, this small top, the TT515, sounds exactly the same below a certain volume. Of course, the TT10 goes 130 dB plus, but if you keep it under a certain volume, this has all the fidelity of the bigger series. So it's really incredible. but like I said, I'll keep mentioning it again, very pricey. So what is the pairing today? I'm pairing it with, again, unconventional pairing and expensive, and that is what you see on the bottom. That is the subwoofer, and it's called SVS Micro 3000. And again, the reason why I spent the money, this is $900 sub, and people are going, whoa, with $900, I can get a real PA sub for that money, which is true. But if you're looking for portability, something the lightest that you can find, either for maybe you want to tuck this under a computer table or hide it, you can't do that. I purposely bought this speaker because I like to carry it around from room to room in different applications, maybe some of the ones that I've made videos about. But this subwoofer is 23 pounds. So you just can't get it anything lighter. The lightest PA sub I have is the Sub 1 at 36 pounds, but it's just huge compared to it. The form factor is just huge. This is a dual 8-inch sub. It's built really well. It only comes in piano gloss, so that's another downside. People don't like that, fingerprints, but it also comes in white. It is $900. It goes down to 23 hertz. Now your PA sub, like what I mentioned before, the Bose Sub 1 goes down to 40, and that's your typical frequency response of a live PA sub. But this is a home theater sub or a hi-fi sub, so it goes down much lower if you're listening to quality tracks, which that's one of the things I do, is I listen to PA speakers and I listen to audiophile music on them at high volumes. It's very unconventional. You say this on the audiophile channel, they'll turn up their nose and say that, completely wrong application, but my ears are my witness. It's incredible. So going back to the TT515, that speaker at 127 decibels will fill a large living room. Matter of fact, I'm in a large living room right now, and with cathedral ceiling, it goes up, pretty high. Yeah, I never measured how high it is, but it's up there. And this one speaker will fill the whole living room. So you don't need a pair. Of course, a pair is always better for stereo sound, but live musicians, they run in mono anyhow. So one speaker and a subwoofer is very common. So that's it. You run this one speaker, and I don't play at 127 dB. I watch my hearing very carefully. I say that's my number one instrument. But so you think of lively music in the home. Let's say you're trying to reproduce the last Hendrix concert you saw, if you were lucky enough back then, and you play a little louder because you're celebrating your birthday, whatever. And so you don't want to play at 70, 80 dB. You want to give it some juice for that one or two songs, because I don't play long at high volumes. So let's say you push it up to 100 dB. I would never play it higher than that. 90 dB. This speaker will stay completely clean. Like I say, it's a studio monitor quality sound. And I've done the testing. I put studio monitors side by side with this speaker, and it comes very close. So if you can get that kind of quality sound at 100 dB, that is very unusual. And then you pair it up with a good subwoofer. Now this subwoofer is not going to fill a huge space. It's made for a small den. It's not made for the living room that I'm playing in, to tell you the truth. This is too large of a space. It's made for a bedroom, would be incredible. Bedroom situation or a large den. Definitely not a live PA subwoofer. Definitely not outside. So the application is very narrow, but if you have the cash and you pair these two up, you will be shocked. What can I say? Of course, you need a mixer. I mentioned that. You need to get the speaker, the RCF needs the gain. You got to give it some healthy gain to get the performance. Here is the mixer I'm using, Mackie Pro FX10, $270. Another bit of cash you have to lay out to get the system to run properly. But I like this mixer more than some lower lines because it has mid control on with my phone output. you see the cable there, that's where I connect my phone. It's very rare that you have on the mixer line where you're running your tracks where you have mid control. So I use that, I tweak it, and it adds a little clarity to the speaker EQ wise. I also want to show you here the SVS speaker subwoofer runs on this incredible app, the Micro 3000 app. So here you can see I'm running at minus 10 dB. I blended the two speakers well at minus 10 dB. 80 Hz is my cutoff. Maybe I could even go a little higher, 90 or even up to 100. And so you can do that all across the room, which is very unique for subwoofers. You know, in the old days and other companies, you have to go behind the subwoofer. Sometimes the sub is in the corner, you have to crawl back there. But the fact that it's done from your listening position, I'll never buy another subwoofer without it. SVS is one of the few. There is a couple others, but usually like, I believe Rel, they have it too, but it's in their very expensive subwoofers. So what else can I mention? Well, the SB3000 sub we're talking about is very expensive at $900. So if you don't need the extreme low weight, then you can, for the same price, you can get the SB2000. So it's heavier, so that's why I didn't go with it. But if it's in a static situation in the home, that's the way I would definitely go. You get more performance with the SB2000 and the same exact price, $900. Okay, so that's it. Incredible combinations. I hope I didn't turn off too many people in the beginning of the video by saying don't buy it, but let me give you the exact rundown of the prices. So here we go, let's add it up. So we have the RCF TT515, the top is $1,800. You have to add $100 for the adapter, that's $1,900. I have a speaker stand. You definitely want to get that stand up ear level. You don't want to put it on the floor. I'm just estimating $40. You have your SB3000 sub. That's $900. You have a couple of XLR cables, two of them. I buy them from Amazon, $20 each. That's $40. And then I'm not going to add the mixer because people have different sources. So some DJs have their controllers. So not everybody needs to buy a mixer. But, you know, that is extra money. So let's add in, doing the math, that is $2,880. Yes, very, very pricey. But if you need lightweight, this is about as lightweight as I can put together. This is my lightest weight system. Again, it's not something I'm going to use in a live situation with that sub. But for the home or a very small audiophile listening session, this is really incredible. Now, what can you get at that price besides this? Well, for $2,900, a little less money, $20 less, you can get the Bose Pro 32 Sub 1, which I would run for hands down before I got this system. Of course, the Pro 32 doesn't have the clarity of that RCF top, but it throws 180 degrees. You know, people run that Pro 32 with up to, I don't know, 200 people or more. And the Sub 1, as I mentioned, is a live PA sub, where this is not. So it really comes down to your application. This is a very narrow application, and I'm sure most people wouldn't be interested. And if you're still watching, it's just an interesting setup, but I realize not many buyers are going to be running out to purchase after they exit out. We can call this a stealth system. You can hide it behind a tree. You can separate the subwoofer. I'm using a 10-foot cable. So you can put the sub in a different place. You can put it in a corner or under a table, like I mentioned. But something like this, you put this in a den, in a home, if you like to listen at decent volume. You know, if you're a low listener, then you buy some studio monitors or regular hi-fi speakers, and this would be a waste of money. But if you like to listen to energetic music like myself, some Led Zeppelin at some realistic volume, then nothing in the hi-fi world can compare unless you're going to be spending, you know, upwards of 30, 40,000. Then you get speakers that have full range sound at high volume. Pretty hard to get at a decent price though. So this could be hidden. I have it hidden behind a tree, if you can still see it. And that's just another way to run it. Talking about hiding the speaker, I mentioned the Pro 32 system, but that's a 7-foot column. Pretty hard to hide that, and it definitely stands out as a sore thumb in the home situation. But this is definitely an alternative. This is probably my favorite way to set it up, where the sub and the speaker kind of line up. Kind of looks like a column array setup. That piano gloss finish, it does take maintenance, like I said, fingerprints, but it also has pride of ownership. You can put some carnauba wax on it like a car, and it shines up beautifully. That's why it looks really good right now. I did that carnauba treatment. So that's wrapping up this video. I do want to mention one more thing though. The subwoofer, I said it goes down to 23 hertz, but it is not meant to be played at 100 dB plus volumes. As a matter of fact, it won't produce the 23 or lower at those kind of volumes. So again, you have to use this in its application, but personally, I don't play at those kind of volumes for the application I'm talking about. I'm listening to audiophile tracks in like a den at pretty high volumes. So when I say pretty high, like I mentioned, maybe pushing 90, 95 would be the most, because I don't want to damage my hearing. So if you keep it below those dB levels, then the subwoofer really thumps, again, for its size. But if you have the size, and the size is not a factor, or the weight you're not going to be carrying around, I would definitely go the next step up at the same price I mentioned before, the SB2000. I actually have the SB3000, and that's in my home theater, but and again, that doesn't get moved. It's a 50-pound sub. Okay, let's wrap this up. Summarize. This is a pricey system, pushing $3,000 to put the whole thing together, but it is modular. So you can take just that top, you can match that RCF top up with a proper live PA sub. I've done it outside. You can check out the video. I matched up that top with the sub 1, or even better, the sub 2, and you would have a great system for maybe 175 people. But again, it's very pricey, and personally, I don't think your audience, they're not looking for audiophile sound. So I guess your typical QSC K12.2 is, you'll save $1,000 or more. But this is for the people who have, deeper pockets. I know on the forum for music, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's the Nord Forum, professional keyboardists. The RCF TT515-A is one of the highest recommended speakers as far as sound-wise. Again, beating out something like your normal QSC. But again, it's pushing over $2,000. So something like this, TT515 is even lighter than the TT515-A, a little less money, and you get the same quality sound. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed this video, and that's it. I'm thinking that subwoofer is I also use it for home theater in a small room. A lot of ways to use this. A lot of mix and match ability. Okay, this is Bill. Hope you enjoyed. Until next time.